The boards.
Bullseye.
Outside. All the best, Richie.
All the best, mate.
Good start for Richie to get the bullseye. And Richie Edhouse, someone who needs a good day, because yesterday was exactly the opposite of that.
29.
Didn't exactly play badly yesterday, but it was one of those strange days where he didn't get any points.
134.
The rest of the week was pretty good. He had a day off on Monday, 6 points on Tuesday and 6 points on Wednesday, and was very hopeful of maybe getting himself towards that 18 to 20 point mark by the end of yesterday, but it just didn't go his way.
100.
So he's sitting on 12 points, which is currently 8 points behind the league leader, Jared Cole, who, like I mentioned, is having his day off today.
134.
So Edhouse has got one thing in mind, and that's to win every game to get level with Cole. And to say he's started quite well is a bit of an understatement.
77.
Sitting on 58 after 9.
In 3.
And sitting on nothing after 12. That's exactly what he needed. Well, when it comes to playing against Justin Smith, I mentioned that the 2 games that they have had, yesterday and on Wednesday, both of them were opening matches of the day. First one went to Richie, second one went to Justin yesterday. So honours even.
60.
That will be broken today. But if they've established a pattern throughout the course of the week, then I've got to say that maybe it's Richie's turn today, but Justin will be doing everything in his power to stop that being the case.
96.
It's a bit of a intramural battle, this one, because they both have the same manager in Tom Cousins.
100.
So there's someone who is sitting on the fence right now.
96.
Richie's consistency in this game so far has been brilliant. 3 tons in this second leg to follow that 12 dart start.
134.
He ramps it up even more with a 134. Not giving Justin Smith any sort of breathing room at the start of this match. So 67 for the first breaker throw of the day.
In 3.
And he did have a few issues with double 16 yesterday, but not right now. 2 out of 3 on doubles, and that's a brilliant return. It's early, but that average is very, very healthy.
131.
I do get the feeling that Richie has got something in his sights today. That by the end of Friday afternoon, he wants to be on 20 points. He does not want to be beaten today. And every player wants to have that kind of day, but with this league format, he either moves today or he's not going to win it. It's as simple as that. Justin Smith, however, is 4 points ahead of Richie Edhouse. Sitting on 16 after a very steady week of 6 points on Monday, 6 points on Wednesday, and 4 yesterday, which could have been better.
140.
But on throw again, Richie Edhouse has left 50 after 9.
18.
This time he stumbles on double 16, but fortunately Justin Smith is not on a finish.
135.
He most definitely is now, so no time for stumbling, Richie. It's a really tricky shot now.
In 3.
Somehow he has found enough of that bed. That's a wonderful dart from Richie Edhouse to get a 3-0 lead. You may not see a better dart today than that. Especially the pressure that was applied by Justin with that 135 setup. Maintaining that really healthy average of 107.
57.
But there's no time to take your foot off the pedal when you're playing someone who's above you in the table.
134.
If these guys are going to challenge Jared Cole, then they have to have good days when he can't get any points at all.
140.
I think if I was Jared Cole today, hoping to stay at the top of the table without playing, I'd not watch. I'd just let these guys duke it out and then come back on Saturday with a fresh attitude to try and get the job done. Justin's only 4 points behind Jared, so 2 wins will get him level.
77, 80, 95.
And the way this game's going, he may have to win his 3 remaining games today to find his way to the top of the table.
58.
That also depends on Aaron Monk, who's on 14 points.
Into
Darts.
Justin Smith does get on the board with a 14 darter. Every single winning leg has had incredible quality.
140.
Well, Richie Edhouse's throw hasn't
59.
really been under much threat. Until that wonder dart at double 16. And the last time he threw first. Somehow Justin's got to find
96.
something against the throw to have any sort of chance in this game.
$43.
Is there a smidgen of a chance right here?
140.
A good 140 to get himself a slender lead. He still needs more mistakes from Richie.
60.
That may be the slip that Justin was waiting for.
81.
Small one at the end doesn't help, but it still gets him to a manageable finish.
140.
Which is definitely going to have to be popped right now. Single 19 going for the 25 in bull will now give Richie Edhouse surely 2 darts to take care of this 5th leg. 4-1 ahead.
57.
He's got enough room over the top of that one. You have to go to the left though, because his darts are very upright.
In 3.
But he gets double 10 on the switch to the right hand side of the board and rescues the situation very well. The average has come down towards 97, but that's still quality. Earlier on it was 10 more than that, maybe even more than that.
59.
Has Edhouse done the damage? Take a 2-1 lead against Justin Smith this week.
100.
$59.
When you've had 4 losses in a row, like Richie did yesterday, to snap that streak will take some of the pressure off his shoulders, because when you've got a streak of
43.
losses coming together, the pressure builds game on game. So the situation's looking very good for him.
100.
Less so for Justin. I mean, this leg has not found a treble until now.
140.
It's a couple. Now, Richie has been missing that 60 in the last couple of days. It has been just underneath, which is very difficult for him to adjust to if he wants another treble after that. There's the 2 darter. 149 for the match for Richie Edhouse. Double 16 for the match.
Oh.
Oh, he's a double eight.
133.
That's an excellent 133 checkout, Richie, but unfortunately you needed 16 more than that. Justin Smith needs tops.
Game in 2.
He does get it in 2. He denies Richie Edhouse another visit to get the match done. And this game is anything but done. But if Justin Smith wants to win it, he's going to have to do it the hard way, which is why 2 breaks a throw and a hold and against a 140 start.
58.
$140.
Foot to the floor stuff from Edhouse. Looking to get it done here. 5 legs to 2. Don't forget the
140.
scenario of leg difference as well. If Richie wants to have a say in the league ladder at the end of the week, he may have to win some of his games quite handsomely.
140.
3 140s to leave 81, and it will be for the match. The man from West
58.
Wales, who would have been looking to have a perfect day himself, may have to kiss that goodbye and maybe look to try and get 6 points instead of 8. As Edhouse will line up at double 16 again to finish in style and possibly 13 darts.
Come on. 57.
He will have 6 for it. He'd love to get it done in 1.
In 1.
And he does get it done in 1. It's a classy display from Richie Edhouse. He goes 2-1 up on Justin Smith in their head-to-head for the week. But most importantly for him, he snaps a streak of 4 losses from yesterday, and he starts perfectly. A wonderful display from him. Stay with us. The next game, Aaron Monk and Jose Justicia returns after his day off. already on national in to try and get the league table in his grasp. He's only 6 points behind the league leader, Jared Cole, at this point. Aaron, who won the league yesterday, leg difference. And Jose returning
25.
after a day off, daily siesta. $25 from both players, so Jose will go first this time around.
Bullseye.
And Aaron takes the bullseye for the start.
All the best, mate.
Contrasting fortunes for these guys this week so far. Jose has played 3 days and only won a couple of games, so he's at the bottom of the table right now on 4 points, looking to establish a bit of pride today. I think it's fair to say that he doesn't really hold much hope, if any, to get into the top 2. If he's going to do that, he's going to have to win every single game from here on out and hope that all of the results go his way. So I think for the next couple of days, it's pride only for Jose. Aaron, on the other hand, after an 8-point haul yesterday, that's 6 that counted towards the daily table, and he won his bonus catch-up match yesterday as well against Keelan Kay, which meant it puts him on the table at number 3 right now. Still 2 points behind Justin Smith, who's lost his first game today. So that was a result that went the way of Aaron. If he has another day like yesterday, he's definitely in with a shout. And he really fancied that 139 out, didn't he? That was the hard way of getting it. 57 bull double 16. I think if Aaron can keep his frustration in check today, he's got a great chance as he starts with a 13 darter against Jose Justicia. Jose has been around in darts for a few years, predominantly playing soft tip before he broke onto the PDC circuit a couple of years back, where he had a very infamous incident with a top player. Since then, he's had a few results, but some of the best results he's had since then has been in the soft tip world. And steel tip is getting more of a name in Spain, thanks to the likes of Carlos Rodriguez, Tony Alcinas, and Cristo Reyes.
Aaron, 58.
Aaron starting this match very similarly to how Richie Edhouse started his match against Justin Smith, blisteringly. He's already taken the throw away from Jose.
87.
But a really good switch there after getting 2 treble 5s up top. Just gives him a little bit of breathing space. If he gets the bullseye on this 125, well, he's gone for the 15s first. Maybe he was going 45 tops. That's the old school Hollywood way of going for that shot, made famous by Rod Harrington. Was he not going to get the 126 by hitting the treble 3? Was of course going for the treble 19. So Aaron gets the 25 for tops.
Game in 3.
And yesterday, it was double 10 that was his best friend eventually. Early in the afternoon proceedings, he missed a few key shots at it. And then, in his own words, he had a word with it in the break. And then after that, he was mustard on it.
140.
The last time these guys played, and it's only been once this week that they have actually played each other, Aaron won it 5-0. That was on Tuesday.
92.
Aaron's second game of the week. And it was a rebound win after a 5-4 loss to Richie Edhouse. He'll be looking to possibly go 10-0 up on Jose Justicia, which would definitely help his chances in the points and the legs difference table.
100.
Playing strongly. Didn't want to fiddle around too much with the board. Just wanted to try and score as much as he possibly could on 60s there to get inside 200. But now he's got to use the board to get to where he needs to be.
59.
Not enough, really. And Justicia should be on his tail. He most definitely is. He's got the more doable outshot. But Aaron gets tops.
Game in 3.
For the leg. Using a more popular route these days, 1951 and tops. One of the reasons why people use that route is because you're going to utilize the 19s and the 17s either way, regardless of which shot you get first, whether it's the treble or the single.
180.
Aaron's on a mission. I heard something quite amusing from Richie Edhouse just after he finished his last game with Justin Smith. And he averaged just shy of 100, and he said, I played well because
42.
I had cheese on toast this morning. Well, every dart player, and every sportsman for that matter, they have their favourite meals before they play. That's whatever makes you feel energetic and ready for
99.
a long morning and afternoon of darts, or potentially nighttime, which you will get more of tonight with lots of bonus matches, including Phil the Power Taylor. So don't miss that on the MODUS YouTube page and, of course, on dartshop.tv. All free of charge.
100.
Aaron, again, setting up the first opportunity to take out this leg. Again, like the last leg, he is behind but has the first poke at it. Will he get tops again to steal away a chance for Jose?
Oh, 60.
The answer is no. And Justicia gets his first chance to take a leg, which he does. No surprise there, really, because soft tip players are very, very strong on doubles. Depending on which type of soft tip they do play, Jose has
54.
played with the larger trebles and doubles and bullseye, and has also played a lot of electronic darts where the trebles and doubles are smaller. Obviously, doubles and trebles on steel tip boards are all the same. Unless you're using a training board, which has very skinny trebles and doubles. It makes it very challenging indeed
140.
if you use one of those for practice, or indeed a game. Chance for Aaron to get 4-1 up. A 20 advantage before these three.
Oh my God, 60.
And the scoring just seems to be coming backwards a little bit and offering Jose a little bit more of a chance, but he's not up to it. He can leave a finish of 170, however. You get the feeling that Aaron will have 6 darts.
100.
And that's a good approach. Gives him options when he returns now, as Jose doesn't get the first treble 20. Double top then.
Oh, Aaron, number 27.
This time he misses double 10. And if Justicia takes this, the game may take a different complexion. brilliant 2-dart checkout from Justicia. A little bit of salt in the wound for Aaron Monk there, as the game returns to being on throw. Any hope that he had of a huge victory is now gone, and all he wants is the points.
81.
I think this is the challenge for Aaron when he has a couple of misses at double. He has to not feel too frustrated and stay focused.
58.
But there were a couple of times yesterday against key opponents where he had a frustrating leg and was able to bounce back very well. So he needs more of that today. Unless, of course, he blitzes everybody, which is very rare for any player within the Icons of Darts League.
100.
Jose scoring a little bit more consistently now and finding his way first to a finish.
100.
Well, Aaron tactically did something wrong there. Didn't utilise the 18s after he missed the 60 with the first dart. He's put himself on a bogey number.
$105.
Good approach. It's Jose's turn this time to have the more difficult 2-dart checkout. And he misses tops to offer Aaron one chance for 4-2.
Game in 2.
He takes a little bit of extra time on that top shot, and it worked. 4-2 to Monk. A win here would get him to 16 points for the week. And put him equal with Justin Smith.
84.
We'll see more of Keelan Kay in the next game. Exciting young player from the West Country. He goes up against Richie Edhouse, who is on a mission today. He knows that he's probably got to win all of his games to have a chance in the league tomorrow. Too many darts from Jose that have got an odd number on the end. Not enough 140s, tons, and 134s. Things like 41 and 83, like this leg, make it a little bit easier for Aaron to come down and outscore him, which he has done in this leg.
97.
And he approaches double top with ease after 12 darts. And he has 3 darts to get the job done.
Game in 2.
And it's on double 10 to get himself a 5-2 victory. A really assured display, and there was one little wobble in the middle there for Aaron Monk, but he was up to it. He bounced back superbly and gets a really good confidence boosting win to get himself 10 points out of yesterday and the start of today. Could he be the form horse? You'll have to stay with us to find out. But next it's Keelan Kay against Richie Edhouse. We'll be back with that in about 5 minutes. the Icons of Darts Live League for this Friday afternoon, and I hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. Keelan Kay and Richie Edhouse are about to get underway, just finishing off their practice darts right now before they go for the bull. It's Keelan's first game of the day, first of 4. Previous 2 games of this morning's session have both gone 5-2 to effectively the home player on the left of the draw. So Richie has got himself 2 points already, and Aaron Monk has just won 5-2 against Jose Justicia to bolster his chances of winning the Live League this week. We're just about to go down to the bull now to find out who wins and goes first.
25.
And Richie Edhouse, who I've mentioned a couple of times today, will be on a charge starting before today with 12 points, has already added to that tally.
96.
If he can have a really good day today, there's no reason why he can't sprint to the finish and possibly win the league still, even after
58.
getting no points yesterday, which would have been immensely frustrating for him.
60.
Yesterday, Richie Edhouse was playing in a hoodie. No evidence of a long
125.
sleeve here, so maybe things aren't as chilly down on the south coast. Can't confirm because I only live about 45 minutes from Richie that it has been raining cats and dogs this morning. Some more good darts weather, so stay inside, stay safe, stay warm,
57.
and stay with the MODUS Icons of Darts Live League.
$135.
Nice approach there from Richie Edhouse, who took his time to figure out what third dart he wanted to throw. He did, of course, have the option of treble 19 for double 14 as well. But now he has time on his side to dispose of this 70 checkout.
In 3.
And he goes back to double 16, which was very handy for him in his first game. So he starts with a 15 darter. And he somewhat comically said after his first game that he played well because he had cheese on toast for breakfast. Well, the way he played, I'm going to have to start making some grilled cheese sandwiches. He averaged nearly 100. And for a lot of that game, he was well above that. Keelan Kay yesterday got himself 4 points, but
52.
he will think that he should have had more than that. But he was involved in some very interesting close games, particularly his first one against Richie Edhouse, where he went off like a train with his scoring, but he could barely hit a double. He was stealing legs left, right, and centre, but had legs stolen off him too. It was incredibly peculiar, the entire match, but ultimately Keelan won 5-4. They played each other 3 times this week already.
100.
And this will be their final meeting for the week. So will it be 2-2 in the head-to-head tally, or will it be 3-1 to Richie Edhouse?
73.
Edhouse is looking the more likely at this point, with another solid scoring leg.
140.
Double 16 for 2-0.
16.
This time he misses. And Keelan Kay was better on combination shots yesterday as opposed to 3 at a clean double.
36 left.
Almost proved to be the case again as he misses double 18 for the 103.
In 3.
Well, he's done it again, Richie Edhouse. In his previous match, he had a third dart double 16 that was very tricky indeed. And that was not as difficult as the previous one, but it wasn't easy. He manages to get it done again for 2-0.
97.
And the games they've had,
140.
all three of them, they've all gone to the wire. All 9 legs have been utilised every time. Tuesday, it was Ed House who won 5-4.
60.
Then it was Ed House again at the double on Wednesday with 5-4. And yesterday it was Keelan who stole one, 5-4. So maybe that's a sign that Keelan K will come back into this match and give us a 4th possible last leg deciding game.
85.
Foot has gone off the pedal in the scoring stakes for Richie Edhouse in this leg. The previous 2 legs he was
95.
not making many mistakes at all. But he's back in there, and that's a perfect first start for him.
180.
Brilliantly used. And a well-timed 180 just like that can change the complexion of a leg
60.
in a flash. Tops it is for 14. 15 will do.
39.
You'll have to hope that Keelan doesn't take the 161 now.
83.
I'll have to say that maybe that shot at the 51 had to have slipped out his hand. For the fortune of Richie Edhouse, who steps back to the hockey and with no hesitation gets himself 3-0 up. Keelan K holds no real hope for winning the league,
60.
but has gained a lot of experience this week, the young man. Noted for some immense performances in the JDC circuit.
100.
And of course a junior international for England, alongside the likes of Brad Phillips
180.
and Leighton Bennett, playing with some lofty company in his age group.
Keelan, come on. 32.
He's having a frustrating game so far as Keelan, and you can sense it from what he's saying over his headset.
57.
And Richie is just picking him off little by little, constantly gaining advantages, leg on leg.
46.
Darts is a great game when you get momentum and you're playing well, but when you're having an off day, it scrambles your brain.
57.
And you hope that Keelan, with a long afternoon ahead, can figure some stuff out, because at the moment it's looking very likely that he's going to be steamrolled by Richie Edhouse. Good setup for Richie, and yet again he will line up double 16, you feel. When you are playing well, you do establish patterns of doubles that you leave, doubles that you prefer. So he's obviously a double 16 guy, and that's a great guide.
2.
Wonderfully used. 4-0 to Richie Edhouse in a blink of an eye. And this one's going to hurt Keelan K, unless he has some form of massive resistance.
140.
But Edhouse has only got one thing on his mind: 2 points and plus 5 more in the leg difference column. That's all he wants.
60.
Nothing else will do. Good use of the double switch as well to put himself on 268.
58.
Strolling towards the finish line without any trouble at all, really.
$180.
Could be done in the next 3 darts.
81.
This has been a very consistent performance from Richie Edhouse. Not averaging as high as his previous match, but pretty close.
2.
And in 2 darts, he gets an 11 darter to finish things off. And that's a big, fat, full stop on that performance. Keelan K has got a lot to think about for the rest of the afternoon. But Ed House, on that mission of trying to get 8 points to put himself back in the mix, that will do his confidence the world of good. Didn't take long, and it won't be long until we're back with the next game, which is Justin Smith against Aaron Monk. Second game of the day for both of these gentlemen, Justin Smith and Aaron Monk, looking to find their way a little bit higher up the MODUS Icons of Darts Live League table after this one. Aaron winning his first game against Jose Justicia by 5 legs to 2.
All the best, mate.
But Justin Smith looking to rebound after a 5-2 defeat to the 4-pointer Richie Edhouse after that blitzing display of
25.
5-0 against Keelan K just now. This could be one of the most important games of the day.
Bullseye.
Offside. All the best, buddy.
All the best, mate.
Aaron's going to go first. And currently in the weekly table, Aaron is on 16 points. Justin is also on 16 points.
140.
So whoever wins this game will get within 2 points of league leader Jared Cole.
58.
Now, interestingly enough, Richie Edhouse is also on 16 points. So we now have 3 players on the same points tally. So things are getting very interesting indeed. And with 3 players on the same
180.
points, we now have to start talking about leg difference. But not to confuse you guys too much, I think maybe we should leave that until tomorrow.
45.
And what these players want more than anything, not just the points right now, but if they can get the big wins, it will definitely help
137.
the calculations a little bit later tomorrow afternoon when everything is decided.
$101.
Aaron leaves 115 after 12. Justin on 126 after 9 though. Opportunity to win the leg right here.
98.
Just came up short on that second effort at the 57. And this will be a good steal for Aaron Monk on double 18.
Monk. 97.
Just undercooks that shot at the 36. And an excellent leg so far from the Welshman.
No score.
But he doesn't full stop the leg with a double 14. 2 wired shots. And Aaron can survive.
Game in 1.
And he manages to pluck it out with a lovely double 9 first dart in 16. Justin will be miffed by that because he was the better player in that leg. 3
57.
missed darts at double. Won't do his confidence much good. But he will forget about that really quickly if he can find this second leg
180.
and put it in the bank. Here's Aaron Monk finding
58.
form at the right time. He's a points machine when he plays. He started in the league on Tuesday after Anastasia's withdrawal.
180.
Now I'm going to stop what I was about to say because Aaron Monk is on potentially his second 9-darter of the month.
Monk.
Not to be. But this is a fabulous assault on the throw of
54.
Justin Smith. Like I was saying, Aaron Monk is a points machine when he plays.
93.
Played on Tuesday, got 6 points. Played yesterday, got 8. 6 in the regular league and 2 in his bonus game.
Oh, what's that? 52 left.
But when he
35
played his
scores.
bonus game on Wednesday, that was the only game he played. And he lost it to Justin Smith, 5 legs to 4.
180.
Is that 180 in vain from Justin? As Aaron goes for tops.
Game in 3.
And he manages to sneak it underneath the guide to deny Justin Smith a shot at 56. And they played each other twice this week. That first meeting was the bonus game on Wednesday. And it was 5-4 to Justin.
95.
When they played yesterday, however,
59.
the result was reversed. And Aaron Monk won by 5 legs to 2.
180.
Lots of 180s coming in from Aaron Monk. This is an impressive performance. If he can maintain this 103 to 104 range on the average, he might win this handsomely.
100.
126 after 9. That's very strong. It's causing Justin Smith all sorts of problems.
140.
Game in 3.
Well, he went for the cocky 126 out when your opponent's not even on a finish. But that'll do your average some good. And it'll do your confidence some good as well. 3-0 up. But only
80.
one break of throw up. That's what Justin needs to say to himself. There's a lot of players out there who don't pay attention to that little asterisk
85.
next to their name. I think in these spots, you need any sort of good news that you can find. And if I was 3-0 down, I'd say to myself, it's only one break. He's playing better than me right now, but if I can turn this around on my own throw, I've got every chance.
Oh, Monk 60.
$135.
I get the feeling today is going to be very exciting. It has been so far already. But tomorrow is going to be even better.
180.
If we have 4 players conceivably hovering around that 20-point mark, we could be in for a topsy-turvy day,
97.
which you do not want to miss. And Justin Smith, for the first time in this match, well, actually the second time in the match since the first leg. He had 3 darts and missed him at double 14. He will get first chance at the double. Double 18.
Game in 3.
That's an excellent use of the guide. Clatters into that first barrel next to double 18 wire. And Aaron Monk cannot win this one 5-0 now. And that was all credit to Justin Smith on his own throw.
60.
This is where the game can change though. As well as Aaron played in the first 3 legs, Justin holds, and if he can find a break of throw here,
26.
anything is possible.
$85. Come on, Aaron.
Too many times Aaron Monk is putting that first dart just below that treble 20, I feel.
59.
I think he's better at stacking the darts underneath as opposed to over the top. And yet again, he goes underneath.
60.
You can see the dart, the second dart there, hitting the first one and going underneath. That's a sign of how the dart wants to behave when it hits the
78.
previous one. So if there is an adjustment to be made for Aaron, I'd much rather the dart is there.
Oh, unbelievable. 59.
It's very frustrating when you keep hitting the wires though. He's got to keep himself together.
140.
Very important leg. And very tightly knit in the score.
100.
Squeezes that last dart into the 60 for a ton to maintain a 1 dart advantage.
Oh, come on. 41.
41's not going to help, and it gives Aaron a much better opportunity of winning this leg.
59.
Oh.
I'm not sure his tactics on that approach were perfect. This leg is definitely not over yet.
137.
Oh, with that, pressure is loaded on Aaron's shoulders for 78.
Game in 3.
He not only had Frosties for breakfast, but he had pressure as well to get 4-1 up, and maybe that is the last chance that Justin Smith would have had. If that double 6 misses, maybe Justin was back into the match, but now it's a Herculean effort needed from the Welshman to win from 4-1 down.
140.
If if he could somehow win from this position, what would it do for the confidence of the young Welshman? But it does depend on how
140.
Aaron plays as well. And he doesn't look like he wants to slow down. If anything, he's speeding up.
100.
Decent on the switch as well.
96.
Leaves 125.
100.
Justin decides not to go 25 to either two darter or the bullseye. But it's 45 hit first for two double tops.
Game in 3.
What a way to do it. He did the old Rod Harrington shot of 45 and 240s at the top. I haven't seen that since the match play back in the late 90s, but I've just seen it there. What a performance from Aaron Monk to get a 5-1 victory. And how important is that going to be? Not only for the daily table, but for the weekly table as well. Justin Smith, 2 defeats out of 2. Aaron, 2 wins out of 2. Going to be an interesting day. Stay tuned for more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Motorsports Icons of Darts Live League. And this game is largely about pride. 4 points on the weekly table for Jose Justicia of Spain and 10 for Keelan K. I think it's fair to say that their chances of winning the weekly table are now gone, because everybody else in the league is flying and they've all got a chance. Ed House now on 16, Monk on 18, Cole on his day off on 20, and Justin Smith still in the hunt with 16, but will need to rebound after 2 defeats from this morning's session. Jose gets to 25 to see who goes first.
Outside.
Keelan goes outside. So Jose will begin the match.
All the best.
Well, Keelan had a bit of a nightmare in his first game, losing 5-0 to Richie Edhouse. As much as Keelan is out of the weekly race, losing still hurts. And yesterday,
25.
there was a pattern with his game. Too many small fives, and he was having to utilise the treble 19 segment a lot more. And one of the reasons why he still got 4 points yesterday is because he was so good
125.
at the treble 19 section. Played each other twice this week, and it is 1-1. So
57.
looking to see who is the winner of their battle this week with this game. And you may think that that's not a huge thing, but dart players keep these things in their memory.
140.
They like to have a good record against certain players. Jose Justicia looking for the 5-ton game. Leaves himself on 52 and forces Keelan to take the 154, which isn't going to go now.
92.
Another stray dart into the 5 section. As Jose misses the big 20. And the requisite double, giving Keelan K a chance.
Oh, Keelan. 32 scored.
Massively pulled that shot at tops. It's right in the middle of the double 5. Jose wiring one of those shots at double 8, but not able to find the adjustment. Keelan had problems on doubles yesterday,
Game shot in 3 darts.
but he manages to find the northeast corner of that double 4 to somehow steal away that first leg from the Spaniard. I think we all know that Keelan K is a great young
135.
player, but the pattern of lateral drift of a lot of his darts going into the 5 may need to be addressed. It may just be something that happens now and again, but it has been quite frequent over the last couple of days since I've been covering this event.
135.
And yet another one in the 5 there, but this time he gets 2 big 60s to go with it. I was commentating on the
100.
night of the darts earlier in the week, and I was saying how pleasurable it was to hear Kyle McKinstry say 140 in his Northern Irish accent. Well, I don't think there's any score on the dartboard that doesn't sound good in a Spanish accent.
Oh, Keelan. 102.
You can see that with Keelan, when he does miss, it is left. He was going for a single 11 then, hit the double. Double 12.
5 scored.
2 decent efforts right on the wire. And Justicia not going to take the 140 out, so Keelan will return. His scoring in this leg, Keelan, has been good. There's still been a few stray darts, though.
No score.
And he misses all 3 outside of that double 12 to invite Jose in. He's unable to convert. It's a somewhat attritional, scratchy game. And you can tell why these guys are at the foot of the table right now. A lack of conviction
Game
on
shot
doubles.
2 darts.
But Keelan obviously likes double 6 now a little bit more after stealing that one on the right side of the board. Nobody wants to finish bottom of the table at the end of the week, so coming into today, Jose will have thought, if I can get myself 6 points and Keelan K has a bad day,
99.
I've got a chance of finishing second bottom. But the way things are panning out in this game, Keelan K is going to put himself possibly out of reach. The way that the other guys are playing,
45.
they may be too strong for Jose and potentially for Keelan later on in the afternoon. You look at the averages of 75 of these players, and you see someone like Richie Edhouse, who's averaged 99 and 97 so far today. You can see
58.
why they're on the points they're on and why these guys have struggled. We know that Justicia has some class with a steel tip game.
99.
You don't make quarterfinals on the Pro Tour without being a class player. But maybe it's a consistency thing with him, and maybe it's flip-flopping between the soft tip and steel tip boards that detracts from his consistency on this format.
Really? 83.
We're going for the treble 18 there. Keelan strays into the treble 1. Another pull dart. But the 90 checkout is good from Justicia, who goes 60 double 15 to halve that gap.
$95.
You may think on your speakers watching this game that when Justicia's darts hit the board, it has an almighty thud. If you think about the way that
45.
Spaniards live with their climate, there's not a great deal of carpet in some of the practice rooms that they have. They have tiles everywhere and painted walls. So there's a fair bit of echo goes on. Whereas the climate in the United Kingdom, where Keelan's playing, I would say 99% of
45.
practice rooms have a carpeted surface. That's better from Jose Justicia, finding himself 114 ahead, the halfway point of this fourth leg.
47.
Is he coming good? And is Keelan K struggling? You have to say yes. With his last 3 visits all being 40 and change. Jose finding more 3-figure visits
43.
than he has at any point in this match. 140 followed by 134 to leave 68. And a 14 dart leg is the best of this match so far by quite some way. And Justicia is level for the first time since the very beginning.
$95.
There's been a lot of chatter in social media circles and on forums, of course, about whether certain players need coaches and whether they need coaches at all, really. As someone who has provided coaching for young players, I can say that eliminating bad habits as a coach is probably their biggest job. I think with Keelan, if you can
42.
use his natural talent and eliminate those fives, his game will jump 10%. Justicia again with a lead over 100.
Oh, come on, Keelan. 58.
Keelan not utilising the switch to any sort of success. But he has a chance to get back in the leg here if he can find two trebles somehow.
58.
3 good darts, very straight, but no treble. And when Justicia gets going, he has a ruthless streak. He's noted for it.
$82.
Big exchange coming up here. Justicia on throw. Needs double 5. And he does get double 5. He went for the single 20 and double top, but was somewhat fortunate to have a shot at 10s, then 5s. He takes the lead for the first time
85.
with the last 3 legs in the bank. Keelan Kay has got to find a way through this game somehow.
122.
Things are just going to get harder this afternoon. Started with that 5-0 loss to Richie Edhouse. And after this, he's got to play Aaron Monk, who's playing very, very well today. And he's got to go up against
134.
Justin Smith around about 2:45 this afternoon, potentially a little bit earlier, because these guys are motoring through their games this afternoon. And a perfect visit on the 18s for Jose Justicia to leave a ton. That was very commendable.
140.
And when Keelan starts finding his 60s, Jose finds himself on a ton finish. And he gets it in 2. That's just the way things are going for Keelan Kay right now. Jose Justicia with a 6-dart conversion from 262. The best 6-dart exchange we've seen from one player in this match so far. Keelan Kay leaving himself very handily placed after 12, but it wasn't good enough.
139.
Well, maybe these guys wanted to scratch the first few legs and just start again. Because if you just started the match in the last leg,
59.
this would be a brilliant match. It's been workmanlike up to this point, with flashes of brilliance. But Justicia seems to have a bit between his teeth now.
99.
Another tight leg, which boils down to the advantage of throw, which Justicia still has and retains with that treble 17. No treble from Keelan offers the likelihood of 6 darts from 130 for the match. His turn to slip into the 5. And that slip of all 3 darts from Jose gives Keelan options.
Oh my God, Keelan. 133.
Well, he hit the 260s and he gave himself a chance at double 13, but pulled it wildly left. And 108 checkout from Jose Justicia. He kicked really well from 2-0 down to get himself a 5-2 victory. A wonderful display, really. An average of somewhere in the region of 86. It wasn't a classic, but Jose Justicia will feel a lot better after that. He's not had the best of weeks, and Keelan Kay has got work to do if he wants to get more points on the board. Next, it's Edhouse and it's Monk. It's going to be good. Don't go anywhere.
Yep, ready.
This one could. It's very, very important for the daily table and very important for the weekly table as well. 4 points each for Monk and for Edhouse. One of these gentlemen will remain unbeaten. It could be more important for Richie Edhouse because he was 2 points behind Aaron Monk before
25.
this day started. So as it stands, Monk is on 18 and Edhouse is on 16. So if Edhouse was to win this and get his 6th point of the day, he would find himself level with Monk in the weekly table. But time will tell to see who wins this one. It's going to be exciting and it's very important.
Yeah.
Bullseye.
$25.
All best, mate.
All the best, mate.
Aaron's going to go first, winning the bull off. He's on quite the streak, is Aaron Monk.
60.
He's been a points machine this week when he's played. And let's not forget he's got another bonus game to catch up on at the end of the session today. If he keeps this momentum going, he could
96.
possibly get 10 points today, which would put him on 24, 4 ahead of the league leader at this point, Jared Cole, who can do nothing about what happens today, sitting at home.
On 40.
And Richie Edhouse today has been excellent, nothing short of it. His scoring's been good. His timing on doubles has been predominantly good. And Aaron has had some blistering moments.
84.
Nothing more than the way he finished off Justin Smith with a 1-2-5 checkout, treble 15 tops.
On 40.
Monk. Useless. 1878.
The effort at the 121, the bull comes up short, and Richie on 115 doesn't get a shot at double. And Aaron dodges it on his own throw. Goes for the tops option.
Game in 2.
That seems to be the pattern for Aaron now. He's negating the option of 11 and double 16. He'd much rather leave tops and tens. And when you're racking up points the way he is, why change?
58.
He does arguably have the most experience
180.
in this format and the most success. Has of course got that 9 darter, the only person to do it
150.
over the course of the last 4 weeks. There have been a couple of other close calls. Russell Nyman missed a double for a 9.
Aaron. 58. Joke.
Not able to back up that 180 with anything substantial. And Edhouse responds
180.
with a 180 of his own.
One, 3, 4.
Aaron utilising the board correctly there. He has had a couple of tactical mishaps in the last 24 hours, but
100.
leaving 129 was the right thing to do. Difficult shot, 16 bull he needs.
64.
Edhouse has found himself on 48 quite a lot today already. Most of the time he's taking it.
In 2.
And he does it again. Gets it on the inside wire as it dangles in the board. 1 each in a game that I'm sure everybody expects to go all the way.
100.
Well, doing the preview earlier on this morning with Phil Bars,
122.
I tipped Richie Edhouse to have a good day. I thought he would rebound really well from yesterday's pointless display, and I don't mean that disrespectfully.
43. Sorry.
He just didn't get any points. So far, so good for Richie.
100.
As a neutral, I'd very much like Monk, Edhouse, Smith, and Cole to be pretty level going into tomorrow. I think it could make for a really interesting day, where every match has its own little twists and turns.
100.
I'm sure you guys want that as well. I'm sure you've all got your favourites for this match. Monk
140.
gets a 140 but cannot leave a finish. Tactical mistake there on 299. Had to go 19s first.
137.
And boy, has he been punished for that tactical mistake.
Yeah, 59. Good odds.
Leaves a ton. But his throw is under huge threat via double 16 again.
In 2.
And he loses it. Edhouse is now the favourite. And Aaron's got to keep himself together. Edhouse today averaged 99 in his first game. Then around about 97.
58.
He's maintaining that kind of standard all day long, which is commendable considering
57.
the frustration he must have felt after yesterday afternoon session.
100.
They do say that darts is on the day. Sometimes it can boil down to how you feel.
100.
You can have the same mechanics, same equipment. Sometimes it's a mental thing.
96.
Maybe something's bothering you outside of the hockey. And the following day, it isn't.
100.
So you can play with a bit more freedom. And that's exactly what Richie's doing this Friday.
100.
Another ton from him to leave 147. If Aaron's going to break straight back, he needs more than one treble here for me.
96.
Only gets one. The scores are pretty much level. Could boil down to a mistake from Richie if Aaron is going to get himself to 2-2.
131.
A mistake that hasn't really come. He needs the brilliance now, does Aaron, if he wants to steal it back.
Oh, Monk. 120.
Just on the outside of that double 14. We were holding for drama. And Aaron could have said game shot on 148, but he didn't. And Richie comes back for double 8.
In 3.
And that has been the pattern for Richie Edhouse today. When he's had a shot to take it out, it hasn't just been first and second darts, but on the third dart, he has been very good at
140.
adjusting at the initial misses. Edhouse had a double 16 in his first game with Justin Smith this morning, where
140.
all of the double 16 bed was covered. I'm not even sure how he hit it. It was a wonder dart.
51.
Well, Aaron is miffed by the fact that he missed that 148 to equalise.
140.
His answer is 3 140s to leave 81. And I like that he pretty much needs to win if he's got a chance. Can't afford to let Richie Edhouse get the 4-1. It's very unlikely considering the position he's in right now.
Oh, what have I done there? 24, 34, 53.
He's left himself on a double which he's already hit today, but not last time round. Got to put it right. He's got time on his side, but he'd love to get it first start just to put the record straight.
Classic, no score.
4 darts at double 14, and every single one of them has been outside.
140.
Now he simply has to hit it. No other option.
I quit. 21.
Lots of misses at double, offering Richie Edhouse a very unlikely stealing chance. Oh, and he's missed. Went for the left side of that tops, undercooked it and goes into the 5.
28.
Can Aaron survive? Only scores 3, misses at double 2 as well as double 14 and double 7.
In 2.
And how Richie won that leg, I do not know. And I'm sure Aaron Monk is on the verge of implosion. Somehow he's got to keep himself together.
140.
And Edhouse is like a vampire smelling blood. He seems very hungry indeed and he wants more.
57.
Aaron Monk has bounced back after bad legs before this week. But that may be the worst
60.
possible leg to have bounced back from. And against one of the worst opponents for the weekly title. The worst situation possible. And he's losing this match potentially by a very big margin, which is not good for his leg difference.
100.
And Richie Edhouse just keeps plodding on. But it's not over yet. We know that Aaron can put streaks together. Went for the 2 triple 18s and double 18 route for the 144. He gets plan B right, leaving double 12. He will return for the 5-1 victory. Hasn't missed many doubles in this match.
2.
And doesn't miss this one either. 5 legs to 1 for Richie Edhouse, who keeps his unbeaten streak going for this Friday afternoon. That's a huge victory for his chances in the live league for the week. And he's looking good for the daily title as well, getting 6 out of 6. But that 5th leg is going to haunt Aaron Monk. He was definitely in the match until then. We'll see how he rebounds after this. He's got 2 more games left. Richie's got 1, but the next one is Justin Smith against Jose Justicia. We'll be right back. being here. Amongst just and after that, it seemed pretty inevitable that Ed House would get the 2 points. He did. He's got 6 out of 6, and his mission of getting 8 out of 8 is still very much alive. You get the feeling, though, that maybe Justin Smith has to win this game over Jose Justicia, who found his first 2 points of the day against Keelan K. If Justin Smith was to get a victory here, it would put him on 18 points. And that would be the same as Aaron Monk and the same as Richie Edhouse. So we'd have 3 people on 18 points. And we'd have Jared Cole on 20. So the plot is thickening, everybody. And Justin Smith will throw first in this match.
134.
Justin Smith has played some very good darts at points today. But he's just come up against people who have been better than him. Aaron Monk played excellently against him, as did Richie Edhouse.
58.
And in the race for the weekly table, they were very key games. But I suppose at this point of the week, with such a tightly packed league table, every single match is going to have some bearing on it.
99.
And that's what makes it so exciting. And based on the averages so far today, you've got to feel that maybe Justin Smith is a deserved favourite for this one. And maybe he's due a really good performance. He started this game very well indeed, leaving 72 after 12 darts. And he has 6 darts to dispose of it to take the opening leg.
Game in 2.
Why have 6 when he can just have it in 2? And possibly, I could be right, that he is due for a very dominant display. He does like playing against Jose. They played each other twice this week, and Justin has won both occasions. So
80.
maybe he just has the wood on him, as we say in sport. It was a tight match that they played on Wednesday. 5 legs to 4 to Justin Smith to give him 2 of those 16 points that he has in the bank. And they played each other on Monday, but it was more emphatic. It was 5 legs to 1. You'd love something more along those lines, because with such a tightly packed table, again, we may be looking at the leg difference. And I'm not going to emphasize on that today. It'll be more applicable tomorrow when things get tighter. We get closer towards the finish line.
121.
More good stuff from Justin Smith to leave himself on 102 after 12. He's definitely outscoring Jose. He does have thinner barrels than Jose. Jose's are small and quite chunky.
86.
That was almost a very chunky finish of 102. He just wires that double 16 shot after hitting the bullseye for the setup.
Game in 1.
Double 8 goes in for Justin Smith. It's been a very steady start to this match with a 14 darter and a 16 darter, resulting in that 100 average. We have had a lot of resounding wins today. The closest game we've had is 5-2. 3 of the games have been 5-2. 2 of them have been 5-1, and we've had a 5-0 as well. So we're yet to get anything of 5-3 or closer, which is quite unusual.
Yeah.
Again, Justin Smith on throw, ahead by half a dart. But utilising that treble 19 well.
171.
Oh, picture perfect. One to the left, one to the middle, one to the right. 132 coming in next time. He didn't fancy the 2
100.
bullseyes and double 16, but he has left that 32 after 12 anyway with a great third dart. And he looks like he's on a mission in this match to throw Jose Justicia away. 14, 16, 13. And he's averaging way north of 100. I'll be frustrated that he hasn't played like this all day. First 180 of the match from Jose Justicia.
140.
Unfortunately for Justin, he's just under pitches that last dart to equalise that 180. If he gets another 140, he'll be on level pegging in this 4th leg.
100.
It's at this point, if you're Justin Smith, you're thinking, I want 5-0. Nothing else will do. Hoping for mistakes from Jose, and he gets a little one there.
57.
He's not able to get to a finish, and Justicia is the aggressor in this one, as he should be on throw. Good last start to halve his score. Pretty much half his score.
60.
The trebles have dried up for the Welshman. Bullseye. Oh, he clatters into that first flight and only just misses out on the centre bit. Justin Smith all of a sudden losing his range on the trebles. But asks the question of Jose, who doesn't need asking twice, who gets his first leg of the match. That 5-0 dream for Justin Smith is gone. And now he's just got to focus on holding his throw a couple of times and maybe winning 5-1 or 5-2. Well, the way things have gone today, like I mentioned, can't possibly go 5-3. All the games have been won by a clear margin. Even though some of the games have felt a lot closer than that.
59.
Especially the last game with Richie Edhouse and Aaron Monk. It was 5-1 to Richie, but it was key misses from Aaron Monk that gifted legs to Richie, and he knows that. And he's going to have to rebound in the next game against Keelan Kay to see how the league table progresses. Not just for the week, but for the day. If he wins that match, he's got a chance of winning the daily table, but it will be out of his hands. Brilliant shot from Justin Smith. Fancy the 180 as opposed to the 174. Stayed on the same segment to lead double 13. That average of his has been maintained throughout the match.
Game in 3.
And he's got it on the third dart to put himself within 1 leg of his first 2 points of this Friday. And as the weather brightens up outside my window, Justin Smith is brightening up on the dartboard.
60.
I'm sure the weather's a little bit better in Spain. But everybody's got to stay inside and stay safe at this point in time. Justin Smith's got to stay aggressive. He's going to have to hit a 140 if he stands any chance of winning 5-1, in my opinion. And it could be Jose Justicia's leg now. A little bit of a white flag wave there from Justin with only 44. A better leg from Jose. Only 1 stray dart in this leg out of 12. on dart to tops. And that's all he needs. Climb that ladder of 20. Low, middle, and high. He gets within 2 and keeps his slim hopes of winning this game alive. Very possible he can put 3 legs together. But with Justin Smith winning both of their meetings this week, you get the feeling that he will be a huge favourite, especially with the current scoreline. Can't afford for those darts to drop.
140.
But when you miss on the right side of that small 20, still got the left-hand side of the bed to aim at, and he hits it both times. Justicia starting to warm up a little bit now. More 140s coming his way. He's making it more difficult for Justin Smith to keep him out of the match. But that's the miss that Justin needed. Ton is good enough at this point in time. 124 away from 2 points. He's being kept very honest by the Spaniard. But it's the ball for the match.
76.
Comes up short. Leaves 48. And Justicia, this will be a classic steal. Absolutely livid. Feeling loco with that shot. And Justin Smith needs tops. Now 10s.
Game in 3.
Which he gets in 3. First 2 points of the day for Justin Smith. And that keeps him in the mix for the weekly table. Maybe the daily table is out of his reach, of course, with only 1 match to go. But the weekly table is still within his grasp. And Justicia tried his best, but unfortunately didn't get within 3. 5-2 to Justin Smith. Next, we've got Monk against Kay, which is a huge match for Aaron Monk coming up. Well, it's another big live league icons of darts game right here, and very, very important for Aaron Monk in the weekly table. Things are finely poised in this table as it stands, even before this match begins. Aaron Monk, 18 points for the week. Richie Edhouse, 18 points for the week. Justin Smith, 18 points for the week. Jared Cole, the league leader as of this morning, on 20, sitting at home, can't do anything about it. And he has to watch those other three competitors battle it out for points to get closer to him for tomorrow's final assault on the table. And it's going to be Aaron Monk to start this game off. Well, the good news for Aaron is this. He's played Keelan Kay 3 times this week and has won 3 times. So the signs are good. However, the last time Aaron played, he had a very, very frustrating time of it against Richie Edhouse, who is 6 points out of 6 today. So he's got to be able to put that game behind him so that he can focus on getting these 2 points and equalise Jared Cole at the top on 20 points.
99.
One thing Keelan has to do is to stop pulling those darts to the left into the 5. It's been a pattern that has occurred
75.
too many times. It's cost him countless amounts of points in legs and opportunities at doubles.
$177.
Been much better in this game so far. Must have done some good hard work in the break.
133.
Great approach from Aaron, but it's out of his hands now after that beautiful 177 from Keelan.
Gaming 2.
And he gets a classic 14 dart leg to break the throw of Aaron Monk to start off. Could he be the heartbreaker and deny Aaron Monk the opportunity for the daily title and scupper his hopes for the weekly one as well? Richie Edhouse leading the daily table with 6. If Monk can get to 6 via a win here, then if Richie Edhouse was to lose
60.
in his last game against Jose Justicia, then we would go to leg difference and potentially the head-to-head record.
Time.
There's been lots of fluctuations in the leg difference today because the closest game we've had has been 5-2.
59.
So maybe we're due a 5-4 or a 5-3.
60.
Aaron's staying very straight in this leg. Only one trouble though, which means that Keelan's throw has not been threatened yet.
57.
180.
Aaron Monk with a beautiful 180 constructed with fierce throwing. And that 180 could change this leg for the better for him to break straight back.
59.
76.
Interesting way to go for 101. I think maybe he's just trying to instill some extra confidence. I'm not sure that was the right way to go.
31.
In fact, I'm sure it wasn't the right way to go. But it won't matter if he gets double 8.
Gave him 3.
Hasn't found himself in that corner of the board a lot today. He's predominantly found himself on tops, 10s and 5s. But it was that side of the board that cost him against Edhouse. He had numerous darts missed at double 14. And that was ultimately the momentum swinger
37.
in that match. But double 8 was good. He's broken straight back and he's started very well in leg 3.
100.
They played each other on Tuesday and it was 5-3 to Aaron Monk. I think I mentioned he has won all 3 of their contests. They played each other couple of times yesterday.
85.
It was 5-2 to Aaron in the bonus game, but in the league phase match, it was 5-4. It was a lot closer.
10. Come on.
Aaron's last game of the daily table is this one.
121.
And then he has his bonus game against Jose Justicia at the end of the day.
Yeah, 57.
Keelan's got 2 matches left. This one and the last game of the daily table stuff against Justin Smith.
100.
Pivotal time. Aaron would love to hold with a 107 checkout here. Why, oh why, would you go for bull? I don't understand that at all.
82.
That's 2 questionable tactics that he's used in 2 legs. Maybe he's just trying to get in the head of Keelan K, maybe, but Keelan's a focused young man. I'm sure he didn't even see it.
70.
He's dodged a bullet as Aaron. He's left double 8 again,
1.
and he's managed to get it, but I do question his motives. All well and good trying to get yourself a nice 14 dart leg, but that was the wrong way to go for me. Anyway, it's in the past. Moving on.
96.
His treble 19 shooting's been, on the whole, very good the last couple of days. And he has been
57.
arguably the best player over the last couple of days, Aaron Monk. With a very large points haul. 8 yesterday, 4 so far today. So if he was to get this one here
29.
and the bonus game at the end, he would get 16 points from 2 days.
140.
Well, Keelan is definitely tightened up on that scoring element. He's not drifting to the left anywhere near as much as he was
40.
all day today and at the end of yesterday as well.
$125.
Good response from the young man from the West Country.
81.
Seems to have this one in the bag, but just needs to finish it off.
43.
Good leave, with Aaron languished about halfway down from 501.
99.
I was just about to say it was a nice, tidy leg. But all of a sudden,
40.
it's getting a bit more scratchy. A bit more anxiety. But he manages to get that double 10 in 1 to stave off the final charge from Aaron Monk in that 4th leg.
60. Done.
140.
Has Keelan K seen enough of Aaron Monk this week and doesn't want another defeat to him?
180.
Aaron's the kind of player that when he has got a good record against you, he will tell you about it. And he'll want to hammer it home. He'll want to make it better. There's very little sympathy in that throwing arm of his.
10.
And this leg is proving it with much more accuracy.
47.
That lateral drift is coming back for Keelan K. A couple of 5s in this leg and a 7.
Ooh, 25 left. 136.
But again, it's questionable tactics from Aaron, which he gets away with. And the more he gets away with it, the more he will continue to do it. I may have done it a few times in my career, going for the 161 or the 170 on the bullseye when your opponent's not on a finish. But are more respected by your opponents when you don't do it. You come back and go for a clean double with 3 darts. It's just a more prudent player.
40.
Aaron, though, 2 legs away from another 2 points.
81.
Has played a more consistent
60.
game than that of the game against Ed House. The difference has been his doubling in this one, where it's been more
96.
clinical.
Ah, 140.
If he'd have got a 180 there, that could have changed this leg completely. But the 140 still gives Keelan Kay a chance.
120.
Maybe that bounce out hasn't helped him. Bullseye.
107. 19.
He's him on 42, and Keelan Kay needs one big treble. Goes for the Shanghai 18s
90.
and pulls the last dart into the single, offering Aaron 2 shots at tops.
Yeah, good darts. 22.
Which he misses. Double 9 for Keelan. He's inside, so 1 dart, double 4.
14.
He will not be happy with that. And Aaron on double 10. You should never leave Aaron on double 10. He's unable to get close this time, which is very unexpected considering his propensity of hitting it in the last couple of days.
No score.
No score from Keelan as he busts the double 2 and double 1 shots. But 2 5s for Aaron.
No
He
score.
will be absolutely seething with that effort. Could easily be 4-2 up now.
Two.
And somehow could still be, as they both have trouble on doubles.
Game on 1.
Double 5 is plucked at the first time of asking in that visit, and it is 4-2. Keelan Kay struggling with his doubles and unable to get himself level on the score sheet. Aaron can serve it out now, and even if he doesn't, he still has one more opportunity to do so on his throw.
81.
The way things have gone, it seems to be going the way of Aaron Monk.
136.
Everything's a learning curve for young Keelan at the moment. Nobody wants to lose, of course, but
99.
they do say that you learn to lose before you learn to win. If that's the case, he'll be learning a lot right now.
96.
Darts. 57.
Pretty level leg here, and Keelan has stolen the throw away from Aaron.
137.
He's done a great job of putting some distance in between him and Aaron as well.
96.
So if Monk wants to serve it out, he's going to have to wait. And yet again, a tactical error from Aaron, which is very uncharacteristic of him, leaving a bogey number.
140.
But a 140 from him, and every time he's made a tactical error, he's got away with it in this match. And he's got away with it again. In a somewhat strange twist of fate, the double that cost him a lot against Ed House is what he's left here. And it would give him the match against Keelan Kay.
Game in 2.
And he has got it in 2 darts. A somewhat quizzical performance from Aaron Monk with a lot of tactical mistakes. But every single time he had a tactical error, he managed to come back to the board and was allowed to come back to the board to fix it. Aaron Monk gets 2 more points and puts himself on 20 points, level with Jared Cole at the top of the table. What will happen from here? The next game, it's Ed House against Jose Justicia to see if Ed House can get himself onto 20 points as well. And that has already daily table. We've just done our calculations on the leg difference, and with 6 points and plus 12 in leg difference, he has already guaranteed today's daily title. But now it all comes down to the weekly table.
25.
Jose is going to throw first in this one, and
All the rest.
Jose, who lost his last game against Justin Smith but managed to get 2 points against Keelan Kay earlier. It's been another day of just 2 points, which mirrors what he did on Tuesday and on Wednesday. He did, of course, beat Anastasia on Monday, but that result was wiped after her withdrawal. But in relation to the weekly table, Aaron Monk is now on 20 points with Jared Cole, and Richie is on 18. And with this last game of the day for Richie,
25.
to win it would get him on 20, which would make 3 people on 20, with Justin Smith possibly in the next match going on 20 as well. So going into tomorrow, we could have 4 people on 20, or we could have Aaron Monk on 22 if he wins his bonus match at the end of the session. So it's all to play for. Nice use of the treble 19 from Jose to leave 170, and Richie has started this one very slowly. Need some more cheese on toast, Richie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, where were you earlier when Richie said that he's playing well today because he had cheese on toast for breakfast?
100.
That's a little bit better. Best visit of the leg for him. And this leg is not over yet because Jose has only left himself on a 2-darter from 112.
136.
And Richie is sprinted towards double top. So 56. He just gets the single, but manages to get himself to tops as well to convert and deny Richie that shot at tops. Somewhat oddly, after the last game, the continuation of 8 games today, we haven't had a game closer than 5-2. If you're going to win, you're going to win comfortably. Hence, Richie Edhouse's plus 12 in the leg column today. Is that going to have a bearing on the league table at the end of the week? It could do, especially if he keeps it going in the positive direction after this one. Can't be many people over the course of the last month who've had a more healthy leg difference over the course of a day than Richie Edhouse has had today.
101.
Jose only a dart behind. Gets a little bit in front. But if Richie stays on point, he should get himself to a finish from here. But he's not going to.
42.
Jose seems to have his measure at the minute and has Richie Edhouse run out of steam. Jose, of course, has got one more match after this, his bonus game against Aaron Monk, to try and recover the 2 points that he lost
134.
from Monday. $72 for the returning Essex man who lives in East Sussex. Double top.
52.
And he's underpitched it, so Jose can find himself 2-0 up here. Bad first start. Not happy with that and not surprised. Should always be getting a shot at double from 84. And Edhouse returns in a flash to equalise the score at 1 each. Edhouse, like a lot of players this week, has enjoyed playing against Jose because he has a perfect record against him. He's beaten him twice.
96.
5-1 on Tuesday. A resounding victory at the earlier part of the week. But then it was a little closer on Wednesday, 5-4.
140.
Well, with Edhouse winning the daily table, I've been made to look like a genius. After Aaron Monk won the daily table yesterday, I was put on the spot by Phil Bars this morning asking me who I thought would rebound and do their best to try and take it away from Aaron, and I said Richie. He could walk away with all 8 points. And after a sketchy start, Richie has found his range a little bit more after 96, 140, 133 in this leg. So it's 132 for the break.
64.
Only just missed out on that 57 with dart 2 to give himself a shot at the bullseye. Is it double 11? It was. That's a good half an inch inside that double 11. Bullseye for Richie.
43.
He'll be devastated that he only got a shot at the bullseye from 68. That's a bad first dart. Two darts at double 4 is what he required because the first one was outside. It was a good guide though. He clatters into that barrel and glides it into the green bit for a 2-1 advantage.
96.
Richie doesn't want to finish the day on a defeat. It would somewhat sour what he's done today so far. He's got to forget about the fact that he's already won the daily title. It's now of paramount importance that he gets himself to 20 points for the week, because tomorrow is going to be so nip and tuck. Is Jose going to take advantage of that from Richie Edhouse? Is he a bit too relaxed in this game? He shouldn't be. Every game from here on out is going to determine who is at the top of the tree tomorrow. Jose could be a spoiler. With all 4 of the other players in the mix. He's the only player who isn't under pressure. It's probably the most exciting league phase we've had all month. 4 players possibly winning the title. Double 16 for Richie, and that's the second time he's done that today. Going for double 16, he plants a double 8 to half the requisite score on the double, but he will return to get the job done and equalise the score once more.
In 1.
Well, he does get it in 2 double 8s, and it is 2-all. This game is of huge importance to Richie, of course, and to Justin Smith, who plays next. It's important to Jared Cole, but
180.
when this game is finished and the Keelan K Justin Smith game is done, I guarantee you every player is going to be watching the Monk Jose game because of that possibility of having everybody on 20 points at the top of the table.
135.
Is this the time where Richie Edhouse says enough is enough? I want this game more than you. 180, 135 at the start of this one, and Ed House seems to find his range more.
80.
The moment I say that, he goes in the big three, but finds a lovely treble 19 to rescue the job. Job isn't done. He's only just in front. Double 13.
88.
He's gone next door again. Unbelievable. Last time it was double 8 when he needed double 16. This time it's double 4 when he needed double 13. And Jose is waiting on tops. Oh, to steal that one. That was evil, but so good at the same time. That's where you have a few four-letter words going through your brain when someone steals one off you with a Shanghai 20. You've got to respect that. Great accuracy from Jose Justicia. But twice in 2 legs, Richie Edhouse has gone next door, looking for certain doubles. And he's overpitched on both darts. So hitting double 8 as opposed to double 16 has gone too high. Hitting double 4 instead of double 13, again gone too high. So is that a sign of a little bit too much adrenaline in this game?
133.
Oh, beautiful switch to leave 170. After missing out on the lead in the last leg, he's responded very, very well. $112 when he returns. He can't afford for Jose to get close. He's left to finish. Sensibly leaves the biggest one. But Richie needs tops. And he gets it. What a wonderful answer. Great finishing in the last couple of legs from both players. This is the best game of the day. It's going to be the closest game of the day as well. It's the first time we've seen both players with 3 in the score column. One of them's got to get 5 eventually. Who will it be? At this stage, you have to say that maybe Justicia is the slight favourite, having the advantage of throw. That last dart has given Richie a 1 dart lead. Which is gone. Topsy-turvy, 7th leg.
57.
Not enough. And Justicia regains the throw. It's like a relay button at the minute. Keeps going backwards and forwards. Well, it's 120 again. And he can hit it again. And he has hit it again. Oh, don't leave Justicia on 120. He's looking to spoil the party of Richie Edhouse. If Justicia wins this game, it could have a huge bearing on who wins the league at the end of tomorrow afternoon. Make no mistake, this is an enormous game for Richie Edhouse. Steady scores down, 93 ton. Only 83 from Justicia, but he's still in touch. More pressure on Edhouse right now, who has to hold and has to break to remain undefeated for the day. That's what Richie wanted to hear from Jose. No trebles. But he's got to stay on the 20s here, even though the bed is covered.
60.
Only 60. For a moment there, I thought it was more. Jose fails to get to 170 or below. And this is such a tense leg.
100.
Don't underestimate how good that second dart was from Richie Edhouse. It's given him a 100 advantage. He's forcing Jose to get red bits, and he got one with dart 2. Double 18.
74.
Slightly over the top. It wasn't a bad effort. It just didn't drop at the end. And Justicia, the one thing he couldn't hit was a 1. Edhouse, it's in his hands to take us all the way.
In 2.
Gets it. 4 each. You can feel the tension, the inhaling and exhaling from both players, more so from Richie Edhouse. But he has to break Justicia in this leg if he wants the 8-point haul for the day. And to maintain his unbeaten record against Jose this week, which stands at 2-0. Blow for blow, both players. Who's going to slip first? Maybe that 47 from Justicia was the big slip that Richie was requiring.
131.
Oh, and a wonderful switch to the 17s. Advantage Edhouse. Can he get to a finish? The answer is no.
95.
But a last dart 60 saves his bacon a little bit. Now Richie is begging for a 140.
60.
Could be advantage Justicia now after that 1-2-1 in the previous visit. Fails to get the treble 19. He's going to leave tops. And Richie, ironically, needs 120, which Justicia has hit twice in this match. It's a bad first start. Second dart is also low, so he needs misses from Justicia.
56.
It's on throw, and it's Jose for the win. He misses 3 darts at 40 to get the job done, and Richie Edhouse has 1 more life left. Is it double 16? It's tops.
In 3.
It's also in. It's such a heartbreaking shot for Justicia. He's denied 2 points, but that is enormous for Richie Edhouse's chances of winning the league. He has won today with 8 points out of 8. A wonderful display, and he will have a very sweet-tasting dinner tonight. Oh, we aren't finished yet, though. Keelan Kay comes back to play against Justin Smith next, which has another bearing on the weekly table. Whew. If you haven't had more, if I haven't had enough so far, we've still got 2 matches left. Stay with us. Well, very similar to the last game. We have a very big game for one of them, and it's pride for the other. Keelan K has not had a good day today, losing all 3 of his matches. But he did play better in his last game, though.
The best.
So maybe that will help him against an opponent that he has not defeated this week.
25.
The best.
This game will determine how many players will be sitting on 20 points at the top of the table. Jared Cole has been there all day on 20, doing nothing about it on his day off. His lead has gone. Pitchy Headhouse is finished for the day. And he is on 20 points after a haul of 8 points today. Aaron Monk has had 6 points today. He's on 20 points, but he has a game left to come against Was it Justicia. If Justin Smith gets a win here, he will also be on 20 points. It's all tight at the top and all very exciting.
121.
Well, as the thunder and lightning starts outside my house,
93.
things are about to get electric on the dartboards.
100.
Good scoring from Justin Smith in this first leg
58.
to leave 120, which was a very important number in the last match. Just taken out twice by Was it Justicia, who ultimately missed 3 darts for the match. Keelan K hasn't really had a catalyst all day to spring forward. His sole motivation right now is to snap that 3-game losing streak against Justin Smith. And Justin has double 10 to get the first leg. Now it's 5s.
75.
But he pulls and underpitches the 2 requisite doubles. And Keelan should have 1 shot for the leg from 89.
64.
Just outside the bullseye. And Justin has some reparation work to do.
Game 2.
And manages to get that double 2. That's a nice clean-up job to rescue his hold of throw in the first leg of this match.
81.
Well, not to make too many weather puns, but if Justin Smith was to win this match, I feel a storm brewing tomorrow. How could you possibly want to miss tomorrow's session in the afternoon and, of course, the late morning, with the potential
95.
of 4 players on 20 points? We could have 3 on 20 points, and Aaron Monk on 22 was the leader.
56.
But he has to beat Jose Justicia in the last match.
60.
Ah, 100.
Steady ton from Justin to get 20 in front. I like the use of the 19s on 265 from Keelan, because if you get 95, you leave 170. If you get 2 trebles and a single 19, you leave yourself one of the more doable outshots in this range. And Justin's at a bounce out, so unable to get inside the finishing area.
79.
Good last start there from Keelan, because he had a bouncer on the first one, but he's rescued that situation really well.
59.
Should be a routine 2 dart kill here for Keelan. Easier said than done.
Game 3.
But he's managed to pull the dart into the double 5, which he's done on more than one occasion in the last couple of days. But this time he has a dart left and uses it to its full effect to get that double 15 to add to that 10 and take the leg out.
100.
course, the pressure's on Justin Smith to join the pack
137.
on 20 points. He should feel good that he hasn't been defeated by Keelan all week. This is going to be the final match of the week, of course. Keelan has played every day this week and will have Saturday off. I'm sure he'll tune in to see the action as well.
60.
Where's Keelan K playing with a little bit more freedom now, starting this leg? 137, 140.
140.
And another 140. Bad news for the Welshman.
42.
If he was to lose this match, Justin, and be on 18 points, he wouldn't be out of it. He'd just need a very good day tomorrow.
44.
Lines up tops beautifully after 12 for a 2-1 lead.
60.
Too many visits like that in a couple of legs in this match so far.
Game in 2.
And Keelan K takes out a 14 darter to regain the lead at 2-1. His treble 19s are back as well. Even when he misses that shot to the left of the 20, he goes directly south on the dartboard and has been hitting that treble 19 with incredibly good regularity.
Ah, 40.
Justin Smith needs to get back on the scoring train, needs to get his first dart right there and power his next 2 darts in. He'd much rather hit a 140 like that with the 3rd dart slightly above than below. At least he gives it more of a chance of colliding with the previous darts and getting the 180.
96. No, 95, sorry.
Justin Smith has left to finish, but he's behind.
95.
He's going to have to take the 170 now. He doesn't want to be 3-1 down.
96.
It's a decent approach, but he needs a mistake from the young Englishman.
Game in 3.
It's a mistake that doesn't come, and he somehow finds 70 in a somewhat unconventional manner. But maybe the pressure is off Keelan K now, and he's playing with a little bit more ease, averaging 10 more than Justin Smith, who seems to have hit the wall a little bit in the scoring. And if he's going to get an extra 2 points today to double his tally for this Friday, he's going to have to find more treble 20s, because Keelan K is definitely outscoring him in the first 9 of each leg.
100.
105.
Well, Keelan will be thinking, where has this player been all day? Lost convincingly to Richie Edhouse 5-0.
100.
Then lost to Jose Justicia 5-2. Lost to Monk 5-2.
48.
This is definitely the best performance of his day so far.
180.
Brilliant 180 from Justin Smith, though. Maybe that's the confidence boost he needs.
123.
To take this out in 2 would definitely make him feel better, but he's not going to do that. 47 left.
29.
Just had to recalibrate a little bit there. Wasn't really sure what he hit with the first dart. He is going to return, but now he
45.
definitely knows what he requires to get back within 1.
Gaming 2.
It's a great dart because the first one was blocking all of the upper echelon of that double 16. So he had to go low and slightly to the right. It was a perfect dart. And now he has to break
81.
Keelan K. If he can't, he loses. Very simple.
140.
Here he comes. You sensed it was just a matter of time before he started speeding up a little bit and being a bit more aggressive.
140.
Magnificent 140s from the man on 18 points. Pressurizing the throw of a young man who has quite the nickname. The Lord of the Board.
57.
140.
Keelan K halves his score with a 140. But you feel Justin Smith is in a better position, 24 behind. Maybe not anymore. Didn't want to come up dry there.
130.
But there's a pull on that double 10 shot. And Justin Smith has one chance to equalise the score. This is a big shot. Treble 18 required.
Gaming 3.
An absolutely huge 106 checkout. And you heard that come on from Justin Smith. And I absolutely don't blame him for that. That was the biggest checkout he's had all day long. 3-3. And he's got his throwback.
140.
Sometimes when you have a moment like that, you need to vent. And it allows you to play better afterwards as well, because you vented some of that pent up energy.
60.
He's got an advantage of just over 100. That will do right now. All depends on what Keelan has in the locker.
85.
After the day he's had, does he believe enough that he can get 2 of the next 3 legs? And one of them has to be against the throw.
60.
The last game between Ed House and Justicia was most
100.
definitely the best game of the day. It's the only game that wasn't either a 5-2, a 5-1 or a 5-0. All of a sudden, it's all becoming dramatic.
57.
No trouble in the last 9 darts for Justin Smith.
50.
Good tactics from Keelan to leave 170. But Justin's still in position to take care of this in 6 if Keelan doesn't take the 170. Fabulous last dart.
58.
Okay, so the 84 goes. It's 4-3 to Smith. Under pitches that last dart. I'm sure it just came out a little bit nervy. This will hurt if this goes, this 112.
Oh, Keelan, 80.
He's pulled the last one again. Justin Smith on double 6 for the lead.
Gaming 1.
Gets there within 1 leg of 20 points to join the pack. What pressure would there be on Aaron Monk
77.
in the next match? If Justin gets one more leg here and joins the 4 of them on 20, Aaron could get to 22 in the next match. What pressure would be on him to do that? To give himself that vital 2-point cushion going into the last and 6th day of this week.
68.
The averages aren't anything to really write home about, but this game's been more about timing
100.
than big averages. Neck and neck.
45.
And Keelan Kay starts to falter at the time where Justin Smith's probably hoping that he does.
100.
Classy ton, getting it with the last dart. Gives himself a 1-dart lead.
125.
I don't know how many times Keelan Kay has hit something with a 5 on the end over the last couple of days, but if I'd have kept count, it must have been easily 30 or 40 times.
58.
135.
Well, it's looking like a Keelan Kay leg here. If he can polish off the 51, and then it will come down to a one-leg shootout where everything's on the line for Justin Smith, really. If he loses this game, he will hope that Aaron Monk loses the last game.
11 scored.
But Keelan Kay has missed 2 at tops and offered Justin Smith 71 points for the win for 5-3. One dot.
Game in 3.
Which he has got. He finds himself into the 20-point club. That was a tremendous performance at points from Justin Smith, and he does find his way to 20 points with Jared Cole, Aaron Monk, and Richie Edhouse. We have one game remaining. It's a bonus game between Jose Justicia and Aaron Monk, and it will determine whether Aaron Monk goes into Saturday as the league leader on 22. If he loses, Justicia can't win the league anyway. But if he gets to 22, he leads. If he loses, there'll be 4 players on 20 points going into the final day. Do not miss this one.
Well, I'll go make a piece toasty then. I'll see you back in there.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And this is the final game of Friday, the Icons of Darts Live League, brought to you by MODUS Sports.
So
And
after today, I'm going to
it's
be
pretty important.
in an ice bath.
We have 3 players on 20 points. So Jared Cole, who's had his day off today, has been on 20 points all day, waiting to see if he kept his lead. His lead has now disappeared. Justin Smith got a win in the last game against Keelan Kay, 5 legs to 3. So his 4-point haul for the day puts him level with Jared Cole on 20. Keelan Kay is done for the week on 10 points. So thank you to Keelan for taking part, but I'm sure if he gets another chance, he would like to do better. But I'm sure he's going to have a fantastic career. Ed House, daily winner today, all 8 points. No points yesterday, all 8 points today. Gets him to 20 points as well. Was it Justicia on 4 points for the week at the bottom of the table? No pressure on him, it's just pride. But when it comes to Aaron Monk, the points machine, since he was drafted in on Tuesday, he's on 14 before today, but has had 6 today in the daily table. So for this bonus match, it's pretty simple. If he loses, he joins the pack on 20, a pack of 4 people, including himself. If he wins, he's at the top on his own at 22 points. He will go into the final day with 2 extra points than everybody else, and that could be what separates him from the pack at the end of tomorrow afternoon. We shall wait and see, as the players are just doing their final warm-ups for this final match. We've been motoring along today, and this match was scheduled initially for 3:10, but because we've had so many games that have been so fast, because of the pace of play, we're going to get underway in about 60 seconds time. Once again, I'd just like to thank everybody who's been tuning in on dartshop.tv, your favourite betting site, or on the MODUS Sports YouTube page. We don't mind how you tune in, as long as you keep watching and enjoying the action. I'm Paul Nicholson. I've been guiding you through the Icons of Darts League for the last couple of days, and of course, a night at the darts on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. That will continue tonight from 6 o'clock, which will include guest appearances from Phil Taylor. So don't miss the Sherrick-Taylor clash of best of 7 tonight, which should be a great spectacle. But right now, it's about Monk and Justicia to see if Monk tops the table going into tomorrow. Let's go down for the ball.
25.
Monk gets a 25.
All the best, mate.
And the soft tip specialist gets the bullseye. No surprise there. But now that forces Aaron Monk to break the Justicia throw. And it has to be said that Justicia, in the last match that he played against Richie Edhouse, played his best game of the day, even though he didn't get the win. He missed 3 darts at the end at 4-4 at tops
43.
and 10s to get that victory and deny Edhouse a clean sweep. So maybe the fact that Jose is warming up a little bit is a bad sign for Aaron.
85.
The good thing for Aaron is that he has played against Jose twice this week and he has won both encounters.
100.
One of those was today, and it was by a scoreline of 5-2, but that was at about 20 past 11 this morning, and a lot has happened since then.
$96.
First to a finish is Justicia. Sensible use of the 25 there to get himself out of the bullseye finishing range. So when he returns, it's 2 singles for tops, 2 singles
97.
for 18s. You can utilise which tactics he chooses. And why not do it any other way? Perfectly executed on 2 red bits. 60, double 8, 1 to lead. I
100.
suppose the people watching at the moment who fancy a really, really dramatic day tomorrow, and they want the commentator and the organisers to be doing their maths all day, I suppose they'd want Justicia to get the 2 points here and have 4 players on 20 points.
100.
Well, I don't mind it either way. I just want tomorrow to be exciting. I think the way that Richie Edhouse played today, I think it might be of some importance for Aaron to get the extra 2 points here.
125.
He's rebounded really well in the second leg with 2 tons and a 125. I get the feeling that Aaron cannot let Justicia
60.
break him in this match. He's got to be the aggressor. As Jose talks to himself and tries to pep himself up a little bit more. Aaron staying in control.
98.
He fired in a fantastic second dart there just to sneak in that 60, but under pitches that double 18 again, which has happened 2 or 3 times today. You can only leave 146, and Aaron goes straight for it.
14 scores.
Splits twice. All the seeds of doubt being planted. Justicia in his double 13. Oh, and he's pulled it only just by a centimetre.
Game in 1.
And
I'd
Aaron
love to see my check-up
in
percentage.
a flash. In a flash gets that double 2. If you are an Aaron Monk fan and you can hear everything he says, I'm sure it's very infuriating for you to watch.
40.
Excellent darts from Justicia on his throw. He was very strong in leg 1.
137.
Just as strong in leg 3. As Aaron Monk inches closer. And he's had a countless amount of points on the floor there. Justicia,
180.
so unfortunate, and salt in the wound from Aaron Monk. Throwing a 180 when Justicia's got 2 on the floor. Very, very unfortunate. Is that the turning point for Aaron Monk in this match?
80. 128.
Well, you don't get 6 better darts than what he's just thrown. Actually, 9 darts that he's just thrown. 137, 180, 128 to leave 16 after 12.
1 and 1 dart.
And there you are. 13 darter, just like that, to break the throw. And maybe it would have been different if those 2 darts on the board hadn't fallen on the floor for Justicia. But then again, the brilliance of Monk has given him this lead.
85.
3 legs away from being alone at the top of the table without the need for leg difference. Richie Edhouse today has done himself the world of good when it comes to leg difference. After a disaster yesterday, he's gone plus 13 today to get himself back in the mix. Now, we're not going to talk about leg difference now because it's not going to do us any good today, but we will do all the calculations overnight
100.
and have every single permutation for you in the morning. Aaron is still in command on throw.
140.
And a 140 there puts him on yet another 13 darter. This time it's a double 18, which has been a bit of a nemesis for him.
Came and wound up.
Not this time. 13-13. That's how you take a game by the scruff of the neck. Has Aaron knocked the stuffing out of Jose Justicia in this one?
55.
I've seen how hard Aaron can punch things. I've seen him on the punching machines on our travels. And trust me when I say this, that boy can punch. And he's hitting pretty heavy right now.
99.
Good last start. How important is it for Aaron Monk just to win this game or to win it well?
180.
Well, he can convert 3, 4, 7 in 6, which is one of the hardest 6-start conversions on the board. Maybe the hardest.
26. Unbelievable.
That's a disaster, an absolute disaster. Not bad darts, but just on the wrong side of the wire. And Justicia has been invited back into the leg. But not using the 25 and ball on the last dart's a bit of a mistake. Aaron is short on the 141.
91.
But maybe he's done enough to pressurise the 101 of Justicia. 2 120 checkouts in his last match. This is not going to go unless he hits the 60, which he doesn't. So 48 for Aaron Monk for 4-1.
Uh, 43.
Well short. Going for that double 10. He's hit a 15. The line and the length were off. Justicia gets it in 3 and somewhat steals that away from Aaron Monk, who was in control most of that leg. He could have had an unassailable 4-1 advantage there, Aaron Monk. 2 tired darts
100.
at the end of this Friday. And now he's got to keep fighting. 2 more required. He's been working hard the last couple of days, Aaron Monk. Playing 5 games instead of 4.
140.
Which the other competitors have had to do. So his week has been condensed. The bonus games have happened yesterday and on Wednesday. He lost the first bonus game on Wednesday, 5-4 to Justin Smith. Yesterday, he played Keelan Kay
100.
twice in 4 games and managed to get the bonus yesterday afternoon. What will happen this time? On this leg, he's been great. Ton 140 ton.
137.
Sets up another 13 darter. He's already had 2 in this match. A little bit of pressure on him now.
Oh, game in 2.
Double 6. Right next to one of his favourites, double 10. He doesn't underpitch it this time. And he is 1 leg away after a 14 darter. Well, Justicia is not going to go quietly. Not going to make it easy for Monk.
99.
Good last start. Justicia not missing much. Could this possibly come down to a last leg decider?
134.
Monk doing his best for that not to be the case. Could still be 5-3 as well, or even 5-2 if Justicia is stopped in his tracks.
Oh, Aaron. 123.
Well, he desperately wanted that 180 to leave 88. Now it's still favoured Justicia for the leg. Can Aaron Monk do an MVG and finish the day on a 145?
55.
Bare minimum to leave 90. He'll be hoping that Justicia can't kill this 64. And he doesn't. Aaron should get one shot at the bull. Or two at double 15.
Game in 3.
Gets the bullseye, gets the bonus, gets the 2 points, and it will be going into Saturday. Aaron Monk on 22 points. He now leads the league after a 90 checkout and a 5-2 victory against Jose Justicia. He's the man to beat. Here's the tale of the tape. If he wins all of his games tomorrow, he will win the week. Simple as that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. It's been an enthralling afternoon, but it's not going to be as exciting as tomorrow. 3 people on 20, 1 on 22. Join us tomorrow from 11 o'clock to see who wins. It's going to be exciting. Don't miss it on dartshop.tv and the MODUS Sports YouTube channel.